What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Beyond the Gray Media. Josh here, checking in on you out there in YouTube land. Happy October, happy Friday, all of those wonderful things. Let's get weird. Let's do something different. Can we just let our hair down a little bit and just be real for a second? And maybe, share a drink together. We could do this a few different ways. I thought about going live. I was trying to figure out the stupid StreamYard thing tonight, and it was just buffering forever, and I said, you know what, the hell with it. I can either show you this stack of films that I have been, recklessly purchasing because I have a problem. I have an obsession to horror flicks and physical media. We can talk about this stack and why they're important, or we can react to some comments. Comments from the crypt. Thanks for being here. So before we get started, I do kind of want to preface it by saying I'm not trying to outrage or undersell anybody, undercut anybody, left, right, fat, skinny, male, female, wherever you live, wherever you stand. If you're into horror, I am into you, and I kind of invite it, If I say talk some shit down there and you have a decent conversation, like that's what I'm really trying to do. Sometimes, I grew up kind of a punker, DIY, definitely into like death metal and just gross stuff. So if you can sell me on a point, I will rewatch something. I will take your opinion. I work in human services, so I work with a lot of strange people. And I love the strange. So as long as you're respectful, you can make fun of me as much as you want. It's not going to bother me. But yeah, just kind of like a heads up. I'm not, don't go after anybody. I just want to I thought it might be kind of fun to just, maybe have like a weekly or a monthly spotlight on things I either haven't responded to or that are just kind of there that people are responding to. And I mean, how often can you talk about Stephen King's Thinner? The answer is all damn day. All right. Let's get into it. So, 4 months ago, I decided to start a YouTube channel, and I had no clue what I was doing. I've always been into like drawing. I've played music my whole life. I teach music. I love art. I love cinema. I love film. I'm a huge physical media fan, and I follow a lot of different YouTubers, and I was kind of watching people, and I was like, man, I know a lot about what they're talking about, and I just wanted to be a part of the conversation. I wanted to be like, hey, dude, I'm in the back. I don't have any hair. Pick me. Dude, yeah, old blue eyes in the back. That's me. I had a lot to say. Like, all I do is think about horror movies and death metal and watch it, play it, stream it, whatever. I go to work, I think about it, I talk about it, all my clothes, all my tattoos. This is what I do. And I was like, man, I feel like maybe I should just, and I've wanted to do this for a long time, but I was like, maybe I'll just try it and just see what happens. I have nobody telling me that I shouldn't, and maybe it's okay, right? And good, bad, or indifferent, I didn't really care. And I've always been pretty good with tech stuff, and yeah, I just thought, what the hell? So one of the first couple of things I put out, behind the scenes, I'm a huge, I love from classic rock, punk, post-punk, early heavy metal, new wave of British heavy metal, death metal, black metal, symphonic metal. I hate new metal. Freaking, man. So anyway, in the 90s, in 90s to the early 2000s, when I heard about all these church burnings and this whole black metal movement going over there in Scandinavia and across Europe, I was just like, I couldn't believe that was happening with Mayhem and Burzum, Dark Funeral, Dark Throne, Immortal, Emperor. I'm a huge symphonic death metal, black metal fan. So one of the first videos that I did, I was like, man, Lords of Chaos is one of my favorite books from when I was growing up. And there's this cool movie. It's not perfect, but it's got enough into it that a lot of people can either say, hey, it's a bad biopic if you're a black metal fan, or you can say, hey, this is kind of a gateway to another kind of music, which is what I'm all about exposing. If you don't know punk and I show you something like the Ramones and all of a sudden you're a punker, job well done. So Anyway, I made a video on Lords of Chaos, and, you know, I don't think it's perfect, but I think that people should watch it because it's going to expose more people to black metal, and I freaking love black metal. So I said Lords of Chaos is a must-see rant 4 months ago, and somebody said a must-see. More like oughtn't. It's hard to say, hard to spell. Oughnt. Alright. I did not respond to that because I didn't know how I wanted to spell my refrain. And then another person said uninformed and contrarian. Almost like click, you know, whatever. I studied black... Anyway, not a big deal. But I love black metal so much, so, I mean, I can take it. And then someone else said, no, it's not. Is it amazing? No, but I do think that, like, for what it is, it's kind of like that gateway to horror that's also drama, that's also kind of like, I don't know, I think it sheds a light. It does not paint Varg in the best light, and that stuff with Dead Man, that was really hard to watch for me. Like, I mean, anyway, yeah, Lords of Chaos. That was my first 3 or 4 comments that I was just like, I want to say something, I want to chime in, I don't want to sound like a poser, so I just didn't say that. The next film I moved on to was The Taking of Deborah Logan. And yeah, like I said, I pick films that are really effective to me, and if you've been paying along, follow the bouncing ball. I'm super afraid of old people. I don't know what it is. Rabid Grannies, that other movie called The Granny from the 90s. Somebody let me watch that thing growing up, and I always thought an old grandma was going to come down my staircase and skin me alive, and wear my skin with their little paper-thin skin and just eat me and bake me into a batch of cookies. I don't know what it was. But I love The Taking of Deborah Logan. Love it. I watch it probably every 3 months. That movie, it's primal for me. I think it's incredible as a mockumentary. I think found footage, I think it does everything right. Found footage, possession, body horror, it's got everything. Everything for me. And so I said, hey, yeah, scary truth about The Taking of Deborah Logan. And somebody said, hey, how can I forget such a movie? What are you talking about? Was it boring? I don't... Maybe that... My wife won't even watch that movie. It scared her so bad. If I'm falling asleep to that movie, I'm like, oh man, we're getting into old people at 1 a.m. Alright. Moving on to 4 months ago, again, Hereditary. Hereditary did not affect me in the moment in that first 75 minutes. I went with my wife opening night. We have this really cool theater where, you know, they'll deliver like Mexican food to you. You can get craft beers. You can like have a party. And we did. And so we're watching it, and kind of a longer film. And for the first little bit, I was like, is this going to go cold? Is this just a really heavy study on grief? Is there going to be anything worth writing home about? Is this going to be everything that people said it was? And all of a sudden I start kind of like, hey babe, are you paying attention? I kind of start like elbowing my wife, like, we're going to do this. Who is Paimon? What is the cult? What are we doing? And all of a sudden she grabs onto those rails and everything catches on fire, and she's just, oh, dude. Is it the scariest, the best horror film of the decade? No. But horror is subjective. And so somebody else said, yeah, quick answer, dude. No. And instead of arguing, I should have said, well, what is? 4 months ago, though, I didn't want to, I guess I don't really give a shit. But I just was like, that's it. Well, what is? Argue with me. Give me something so I can respond. So, because I wasn't sure, I said nothing. I think it's in the top 10 or the top 5, maybe even. Hereditary is a great film. It's slow, sure, and maybe a little pretentious, especially if you don't like Midsommar. I think that Ari Aster has a bad rap, but Hereditary was effective. That theater, nobody moved, man. It was an icebox. Another 4 months ago, I was talking about another film that I grew up with called The Willies. And if you're an early 80s kid, 90s kid, everybody and their mom rented that VHS of The Willies. Why do we not have this film on physical media? What in the hell is going on? Really? The Willies was so effective. Sean Astin, fresh off the Goonies, 3 or 4 little badass little horror anthology, man. I'm telling you, when that dog gets I'm not going to talk about it on YouTube. I don't want to get in trouble, but the Willies, it's not, I don't know. Anyway, so my title, why it's the best anthology film you've never seen. Somebody said, maybe because it's for grammar school kids. And being PG-13, most parents wouldn't bother taking their kids to see this. Fair point. I mean, this is 1990. Jumping ahead to 3 weeks ago. That sounds weird to say 3 weeks ago, like going back in time, but from 4 months to 3, your basic math checks out. Megan is Missing. The most disturbing film ever made? No, it's not. Is there a pattern here? What I was doing though was I was like creating titles and then running them through, what is that thing? vidIQ, and vidIQ was like, hey, your title sucks. Try this one. I was like, no, that doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right. And then it would be like 95%. Right? Behind baseball. There you go. Megan is Missing, the most disturbing film ever made. And somebody said, I've seen much more disturbing stuff, and this was boring as F. AF. This movie was so boring, and the acting sucked. The only thing interesting that happened was the end of it. It got so popular just for that ending, and nothing more. Fair. However, I think that ending is so effective in making me not want to let my kids go on the internet ever. I'm telling you right now, that ending kept me up for at least 30 minutes where I was like, I need some Family Guy, some South Park, something, maybe a little Roseanne Halloween special. That ending was super, super unsettling and way over the top. Why do we have to sit there for 20 minutes while he's digging this hole? Can we not focus on something else besides these young... I got major problems with that film, but the most disturbing film, no. But argue back, and that was a pretty good argument. Pretty good. Another quick check-in on Megan is Missing. Somebody said people actually like this film. It fails at doing anything exceptional and is so poorly made in every conceivable way. Writing, silly and juvenile. The acting, some of the most unconvincing and pitiful. Cinematography, cheap, bland, and even the most found footage angle. The scares, it's literally 2 pictures which are fake as the day is long. No, it's not based on the true story. It was loosely based off the types of messages that the director saw on his daughter's phone. I went ahead and give that a nice little love comment because that is a good way to argue your point. 2 weeks ago, I put out The Antichrist, which is full of punishing violence. Somebody said, pray to God to be saved and reborn by Jesus Christ. He is the only way to live eternally with our Father. Do not listen to the media. They are sending people to hell for all eternity. Finally, bringing us up to speed was my video on Zelda. A horror icon, one of the best in the horror genre, I think, and we had a lot. This stirred the pot. Damn Zelda looking like a political figure. What are you thinking? Dressing like that. The first one that I got said, why'd you put Kamala Harris in the thumbnail? The next one said, Zelda freaks people out because it's a man wearing a wig and a dress. Now Zelda runs our military. Sad but true, yep. Smiley face. Wow, poor little baby, so scared of something that doesn't even affect them in any way. They have to bring it up in the comments. So there's people going back and forth, kind of bickering. At this point, I don't know what's going on. I just love Zelda. I think she's the business. They, them, whoever, man. Let your freak flag fly. People going back and forth. There's a lot of cry faces, a lot of snowflakes, a lot of rainbows. Ridiculous you people are. Cry more, cope harder. Those are my unresponded comments of the last 4 months. You want to talk movies that I got? So there we go. There's a little behind the camera, a little behind the scenes stuff I haven't responded to. I thought it might be kind of fun, like I don't really care. Hopefully it wasn't too intense. And then as promised, I got a whole stack of movies. What's the point of unboxing films unless you're going to review them is kind of what I thought tonight. So the first one from Second Sight, The Hitcher, 4K. Everybody and their mom is ready for this film. I got it. I cannot wait to watch it this weekend. I mean, who am I? Thinner, Scream Factory, Shocktober, With the Slip, Incredible Stephen King movie. Grew up with this VHS, wore that damn SOB out. I love Thinner. This is not new. My brother just gave it back. WNUF, the Halloween special. I've been championing this for like, I don't even know, 5 years maybe, since TerraVision put this thing out. This has the thickest, I mean, that's what TerraVision does. They do all their slips this way. Dude, no words. I love that thing. It's just in my pile because in my bag I got some stuff. 8mm. Nicolas Cage. I had this on VHS. Love this film. Little early Norman Reedus. Great Danzig posters in the background. Maybe this is one of those films that kind of set me up for snuff and like extreme films. I don't know. You know, after 7, a lot of people were kind of doing this style in '99. Night of the Creeps. Upgraded my DVD. Tommy Adkins, dude. Everybody wishes he was their father. Night of the Creeps. The House That Jack Built. Is this Lars von Trier? Antichrist. Nymphoman. This is a great movie. Great movie. Brutal, disturbing, sure. I'm kind of getting sick of that term extreme. I'm gonna have to find something else besides shocking and extreme on this channel. The Mortuary Collection, we just talked about it, but I picked it up from Grindhouse because I needed some other like hardcore films from Grindhouse, and they always got everything in stock, and they ship in like 2 days. Society, Brian Usna. Dude, Arrow Video, $20. Buy 2, get 1 sale. Grindhouse Video. Oh my god. And then everybody's favorite director, The Vomit, Black Metal Veins, Lucifer Valentine, 88 minutes of uncomfortable sadness, Black Metal Veins. Everybody, thanks so much for being here. I hope you had a good time. I am going to review some new stuff. I'm hoping to go see Terrifier 3. Didn't really feel like a date night kind of film, but we'll see. You know, take care of yourselves. Hope this wasn't too bad. Cheers.